I have come across many doctors who have come from a similar background as me, who come from some sort of immigrant family. And your parents came to a country like America. They said you needed to become successful. You got to become an attorney. You got to become a doctor. You got to become an accountant. Something along those lines. Right? We've seen that before. My parents were the same way. And so now you think that because you got better grades that you're going to be able to make more money. That's exactly what I thought. When in reality, they're not the same. They're not correlated. I mean, yeah, your grades can help you get a better job, which can help you get a better salary, but if you really want to build wealth, you got to do something very different. I mean, if we take a look at the richest person in the world in 2023, Forbes published this picture of a guy named Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault is the CEO and founder of a company called LVMH. He didn't get there by working up the corporate ladder. His company owns Louis Vuitton. His company owns Dior. The reason why he is one of the richest people in the world, if not the richest person in the world, it just depends on the day, is because millions of people pay him to look rich. Millions of people who are broke pay him to look rich, and he's the one that's benefiting. See, this is the difference between financial education and formal education. Is your formal education, your school, is going to teach you how to get a job. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting a job. I mean, that's what the majority of people should be doing. Not everybody should be starting a business. Very few people should be starting a business because it's freaking hard. It takes a very different level of grit and effort that's involved with that, but that's a separate topic. But you learn to get a job. Now, when you go and get the job, what do? Most people just spend the money. But what wealthy people do, people who become wealthy, they take some of that money and now they want to diversify their income outside of their salary. They want to own the investments. They want to own the assets. Because the reality is there's no limit to how much you can own, but there's a limit to how much you can do. So your salary is what you can do. And most people are playing this game of how do I increase my salary? That's the game that the majority of people are playing. I want to make more money per hour. I want to get a raise. I want to get a bonus. But the game that wealthy people are playing is very different. They're playing how do I own more assets? Because there's no limit to how many assets that you can own. You can stack the assets, stack the income from your assets. Now the problem here is when you start investing your money, you're going to say, well, Jaspreet, the returns are slow. And you're right, especially in the beginning. They're very slow. The first few years of you investing money, and you can invest very aggressively, you're going to see little to no returns because you just have no money working for you. But it's a game where the longer you do it and the more you invest, the wealthier you will become. But you got to stay consistent with it. You got to keep putting money into it, and you got to keep investing even when things get rough. And this is where if you can work to own more investments, well, eventually you'll be able to make more money than what you're earning from your job. Now this is when things start to get really fun because you own more investments. Now these investments are how you can live your life. Now your job is just the icing on the cake. But in order for you to get there, you have to change what you do with your salary. Now this is especially difficult for those of you that have gotten those higher level degrees. Because when I talk to people, when you get a PhD, you get a doctorate, you get a master's, what happens? Well, I did everything right. I'm a smart person. I went to a good, prestigious university, Jaspreet. I have a great degree. Just look at this certificate on the wall. Okay, that's fine. But what does your bank account say? Because at the end of the day, that degree on the wall is not going to pay your bills. It's not going to pay for your house. It's not going to pay for your vacation. And wealthy people start to understand this. They start to realize that that degree really means nothing. Yeah, it'll help you get a better job, potentially, but the real wealth is in your financial education. And unfortunately, we're never taught this financial education in school. You have to go out and learn this on your own. And that's a little confusing and concerning when you go through all that formal education. Trust me, I know. I went through all the grade school. Then I went through college at a great university. I spent 1 year in graduate school, and then I went through law school, and I learned nothing about money. I learned nothing about investing. I learned nothing about building wealth, and I didn't understand why. We're taught to build wealth, but we're never taught how to build wealth. We're told that you want to become successful. We're never told how to become successful. We're told to get a job, but in reality, the wealthiest people in the world are not working jobs. They own investments. Now, sure, yeah, you can build a business, but not everybody can build a business. Not everybody should build a business, but everybody can be an investor. That's how the wealth is built in this country, but we're never taught how to do that. There's a discrepancy there. And this is where you can have the great degree, you can have the great salary, but if you want to build the real wealth, you have to know what to do with the salary, and that's what your financial education is. Having the formal education is great. I'm not against it, but you got to have the financial education to back it up as well, and that's now where the real financial wealth is built. Now, before we move on to number 3, I want to remind you that if you are an investor, my team at Briefs Media publishes a free newsletter 6 times a week called Market Briefs, where every day my team is breaking down what's happening in things like the economy, the housing market, the crypto market, the stock market, and the global economy into a fun and witty and easy to read newsletter. We have hundreds of thousands of investors that read it every single morning, and it's completely free. So if you have not joined Market Briefs yet, well, I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.